Hello, backpackers. This is Juan from Juan Backpacks, and I'm here today to talk about a piece of gear that I recently put into my kit, so to speak, for winter backpacking and so forth, and then also maybe some high elevation stuff during the summer and the shoulder seasons. So let me dive into it. It's actually a piece of gear from Outdoor Vitals, as I said. It's the Pursuit Hybrid Fleece I have sitting right in front of me right now. I have used this for about the past almost a month now, mostly in the wintertime here in Pennsylvania. I've used it in temperatures down into the mid 20s very comfortably. And what I can say about this piece of gear is that I brought it into my kit for winter backpacking as an active piece, active piece and outer piece for active hiking, but also for trail running in the wintertime. And it has worked really well for me about into the 30s and then definitely into the mid 20s. And I could see this piece of gear taking me down even colder than that while I'm backpacking or running, to be quite honest with you. I don't know how far below the 25 degrees I could go with it yet because I haven't been below that temperature, but my sense is from trail running in it about 25 degrees for me personally, it's been working really well. And so I'll let you know kind of some things about what I've been doing with this piece of gear and my experience with it and kind of the pros and the cons of this piece of gear. So this is kind of a review, so to speak, and then it's kind of letting you know like kind of my use case for it, as I just told you. I really just needed a piece to bring into my kit that could act as an outer hiking layer in the wintertime and not sweat me out like if I used my puffy on the outside or my rain jacket on the outside or whatever it might be. I also wanted something in wintertime when I got into camp that I could use as a mid layer under my puffy if I needed it, some extra warmth. And this fleece, this hybrid fleece really kind of fit the bill when I saw it and I saw how it was designed and so forth. And so I'm going to kind of talk about that a little bit as well, just some of the features that I really like about it. So let's kind of dive into that. Number one, it uses a lot of different materials and on different parts of the body and kind of body mapping, right? Like where does heat need to leave the body? Where does heat need to be held in the core and so forth? And so let me kind of walk you through that. First of all, on the inside of the liner on most of the piece, there's almost like this, it's like this, like almost like this alpha-like material. It's like kind of fuzzy. And so it's on a good portion of the inside of the fleece. It's definitely on the inside of the hood. You can see it offers fantastic insulation and wicking. And it's also inside the chest area here. And it's on the back, at least in the mid part of the back here. You can see that material here as well. Inside the sleeves, the same thing holds true, except for certain areas where they break this up by what I would call more of a microgrid fleece. And so you can see where it's broken up by the microgrid fleece on the inside and the outside is here right under the whole armpit through the whole underarm length here. And then obviously on both sides, down the sides here, so on both sides, there's the micro fleece. And so there isn't that kind of really fluffy kind of alpha-like material. It's the microgrid to allow heat to dissipate out, yet still kind of keep you warm there. And then obviously on the belly, you can see here, the microgrid fleece on the inside and the outside. You can see it really clear here. It's almost exactly the same. This is a little bit fuzzier here. It's a little bit tighter weave on the outside though, and I'll come to that in a minute. And then you can see down in the lower back, you're back to that kind of this really fluffy, almost alpha kind of material. I don't want to call it alpha because it's not that, but that's what it kind of reminds me of as looking at it. It's very fluffy, but yet it's very porous. And so you can see that. Now on the outside here, you can also see kind of this other material that they're using. It's a very tight weave, kind of like a shell material here. And it's very tight woven in the chest area, on the top parts of the arms, in the top of the shoulders, the head, and then down the center of the back. This is the back of the thing. And you can see again, use it right down the center where you tend to get colder, right? And then they're right around your underneath your arms here. Again, you're using the micro fleece on both sides of the inside and the outside of the material. You can see here where you got the micro or the grid fleece, and then you have this kind of alpha type fuzzy material here. So it really is well thought out, and it helps to dissipate the heat. One of the things that it does really well in cold conditions that I noticed, because we've had a lot of cold conditions in the 20s lately. We've also had very windy conditions. One of the things I like about this over some of the other fleece pieces that I've used in the past, or even this where it's totally like really tight woven on all sides except for the armpit, it has the tight woven shell material in the right places where you need to keep in heat, but also what it does at the same time, it really makes it easier to move in open areas with a lot of wind when the temperatures are down in the 20s. At least again for me, everybody's a little bit different, but one of the things that I've really struggled with in my winter trail running and in my winter backpacking is having something that's breathable, right? But yet it's so breathable that when the wind's blowing, I have a really hard time staying warm. And this shell, because of the tight woven material in certain areas of the piece, it really seems to put that tight woven material in the right place to hold in heat and also block wind. And that to me is really, really important. And that's the thing that was the real differentiator. I could see this thing being a cold weather hiking piece, an outer active layer, and again, transitioning into camp into a mid layer, or even when it gets really cold, throwing this on when you're sleeping. The other small things, small details here that I really like, it's got a hook loop here. So if you are gonna layer it, you're gonna put it underneath your puffy. You can use the hook loop to pull your arms through so you don't get your sleeves pushed up. It also has what I would say is about a 50% front zipper. And you can see that here really clearly. The zipper goes down almost 50% of the way. Again, hiking, trail running, I've used this a lot when I feel myself starting to get warm. Maybe when it's up in the 30s, and I'm starting to get warm because it's a little bit warm running in the like mid to upper 30s. I can zip this thing clear down and just get rid of it, dump a lot of heat through the front of the piece. And then when it's cold, I can zip it way up and it goes really tight around your face and your head. I've used it with hats too, and it works perfectly fine with hats, but it really closes off a lot of the wind so it doesn't get in the sides of your face a lot. And so I found that to be really useful too, another kind of detail of this piece. The other thing that I want to point out too that I really like about this piece is that it is longer. Even the back, you can see here, if I hold this piece up, you can see the back of the back is lower than the front. So it does come down in the back. So if you're in camp and you're bending over, if you're, doing active stuff in camp and cooking or whatever, when you bend over, you're not going to get a draft up your back. And I just really like the fact that this piece is a little bit longer and takes care of those draft situations. So I appreciate that about this piece as well. Again, this is a great piece of gear. I have used it now for about a month against the Pursuit Hybrid Fleece from Outdoor Vitals. I think there's a lot of really great design in this piece. Again, use cases for me, it's winter backpacking, trail running, when you're getting under 40 degrees. And if you look at their website, that's kind of what they're saying. It's designed for active use, outer layer active use in that 40 degree range or low or colder. And my experience has been that's like kind of the sweet spot. Again, I've been down to 20 degrees and it's really worked well for me. So winter active piece, mid layer in the winter time in at camp. You can't beat it. Trail running, you can't beat it. I've tried other things trail running and you just sweat them out. And this is one of the, no piece of gear is perfect, but this has done the best job at helping me regulate heat while I'm running in the winter time. And so there you go. The Pursuit Hybrid Fleece from Outdoor Vitals. Pretty much all I got there. Backpackers. Well, backpackers, get out there, do some backpacking. Do some hiking. Stop watching YouTube videos unless they're mine. Then watch them all from start to finish. Later, backpackers.